Hello and welcome. My name is Jaleesa. I'm the Cash Flow Apprentice, and today I'm going to be talking about a class called the Deal of the Decade. This class helps us find the deal of the decade in real estate investing every week. And so I'm excited to bring this class to you and give you a quick overview of what we covered in study groups. But before we jump in, let's go ahead and do a study group recap of our essential study group thus far. Let's jump into the study group recap. Thus far, we've covered 8 out of 10 courses in our essential study classes, and we're going to talk about the 9th in just a second. But I want to go ahead and give you a recap of the previous classes that we've already touched on. And so we started off with Real Estate Essentials. This is a class that provides the framework of our real estate business and gives us an introduction to the real estate market. In this class, we've mastered how to find deals, how to analyze them, and how to send out offers. Then we went over to class 2, which was real estate marketing. Now in real estate marketing, this class helps us figure out how to get people finding us by leveraging a multitude of mediums that we can get our message out there and letting people know what services or indoor products that we have available. The next class that we went over was credit management. This class helped us master our financial reputation and understand how to leverage it within building our business. Then we went over to 2 full days of tax and legal strategies, day 1 and day 2. This class provides the framework of successful clients that leverage real estate holdings and business development within their strategies to develop wealth. Now, this class also serves as an introduction to wealth building vehicles and how to protect your wealth, how to establish it, how to create it, how to grow and preserve your wealth ultimately, and then also being able to protect your privacy and the legacy that you're creating. Next, we went over to self-directed IRA, where we focused in on establishing, operating, and preserving retirement vehicles to grow and protect wealth. Then we went over to real estate red flags. This was a class of more than 25 plus years of experience compacted into 8 hours to help us understand how to minimize our exposure to physical and financial risk in real estate. And then we went over creative acquisitions, and this was an introductory class to owning and controlling properties using creative methods that require little to no money out of pocket. So now that you're caught up, let's jump right into Deal of the Decade and get started. Week 17 and week 18 are complete, and we just wrapped up a 6-week focus with none other than Chris Albin. Now, Chris Albin is a school teacher, former school teacher. He was a wrestling coach or former wrestling coach, and he's still an active Sunday school instructor. But that just shows you how many years and or decades this guy has been teaching and helping individuals learn and master concepts. Not only is he a fantastic teacher, Chris comes to us as a seasoned real estate investor, property management owner. He is a licensed roofing contractor. He holds a variety of other certifications, board positions, and has built a portfolio of over 300 properties that are cash flowing on a teacher's salary of about $34,000 a year. And so needless to say, this guy has some pretty cool techniques and strategies to help us find what we're referring to as the deal of the decade. And so let's go ahead and jump into the learning objectives. The learning objectives for this course Chris outlines includes understanding how motivations among those dealing with certain legal matters differ from motivations of other motivated sellers. Number 2, know and understand terms used in and related to certain legal case types in which we can discover leads. Number 3, recognize and understand certain information found in certain documents. Number 4, learn a step-by-step process that may get an investor to a property before it's marketed for sale and before anyone else knows about it. And number 5, understanding the difference between cases wherein the investor has a high chance of obtaining a discounted price or seller financing, and where the seller is unlikely to discount the price or sell the property. Getting into the study apprentice tips, again, we've been using this strategy through the 6 weeks that we spent with Chris Alvin, and it's called the extended outline. Again, Chris Alvin is a fantastic instructor who provides a detailed outline of his training course. And so because it's so detailed, this gives us an opportunity now to layer in some additional details as he answers the questions from the audience, as he expounds on different techniques and strategies, and also as he sprinkles golden nuggets throughout the class. If I had to summarize this class in just a few words, I would say this class shows you how to find sellers are more motivated than the average seller, that are interested in seller financing and or discounting the property, and that no other investor knows about. When I say deal of the decade, we mean just that. Study group mastermind takeaways. Each Thursday, I have an opportunity to facilitate a discussion with local real estate investors so we can get together and learn together, and even at some times earn together. And so for this particular class, we went over deal of the decade, and we focused in on 3 different areas. So number 1, processing leads. What he helps us understand is to be able to answer a few questions. Number one, we have to confirm if someone actually owns the property that they're looking to sell, right? And we can do that in a variety of different ways. Number 2 is to verify if we are interested in the property. Now that we confirmed their ownership, are we interested in this type of property? It may be a mobile home. It may be a duplex. It may be a single family home with a detached garage. It may be a piece of land, right? There's all different types of real estate. Now we have to figure out, according to your investor identity, do you want the property? Are you interested in it? And then number 3 is making sure you have the proper contact to reach the person so you can do a further analysis and understanding what's the issue, why are they selling the property, a variety of other questions that you're going to need to come up with enough information so you can submit an offer that solves the seller's problems. Number 2, processing leads with legal challenges. In this particular segment, we spent a great deal of time on understanding, getting comfortable with the terminology, understanding the process for different types of legal cases that are out there, understanding what information is provided on a public record, and then also understanding what information do we need to be able to process the lead. Okay? And so we ran countless examples going through online databases to show our class examples and making sure everyone understands how to find this information, how to process it, and how to take action. Number 3 is discovering state law and the time frames, right? And so we're actually fortunate enough to have a practicing attorney in the state within our study group. And so we actually have a pretty good advantage, right? There we discovered what does the state law says about this particular strategy to leverage and develop leads. What is the time frame that's wrapped around it, right? The time frame, particularly for our state, is completely different than the state over, right? Whether it's judicial or non-judicial, there's different types of processes that the lead would have to go through to actually be cleared through the legal system, but that changes from state to state based off the laws. And so we dove right into that so we all understood what is the state law, what does it say, how can we work around it, are there any exceptions to the law, and more so just locking down a solid contact that we can ask these questions to locally so we can better be able to take our businesses to the next level. Okay, and it's our favorite time of the day where we talk about our Epiphany Symphony. This gives me an opportunity to shed some light on those moments in the 8 hours where I just was taken back and really had an aha moment to how this information was going to help me level up in my business. And so one of those methods was just more so towards the end of the class when I realized the information that we were learning. Now Chris presents this information in different aspects, right? So you presented for those who are more tactile learners. He has a different flow chart for those who need to see it differently, and then he actually goes through and does examples. And so you get all kinds of different ways to absorb this information, which is awesome. But what Chris does a fantastic job at is laying out a framework, if you will. And so he's showing us how to create our own leads using index systems. He's showing us how to process leads, right? Now that we have a lead, what do we do next, right? Which is more so of a freezing point for our many beginning investors. He's showing us what to do next, right? And now that we've processed it, now that we are interested in it, now what are some other steps that we can take to get some more information, to send out offers, to contact the seller? And so he lays out the entire gamut of how to take a lead to a deal, okay? And so that was awesome because he lays it out in pure black and white. Deal of the decade, Chris takes it a step further and goes into 6 different seller personas of individuals that we're looking for, okay? And so finding 6 different types of people that have a deal of the decade for us to purchase, which is awesome because it takes all the guessing work out of there. Remember, everyone is not your customer. And so if you can key in on a particular strategy, on a particular target market for a seller that you're looking to work with, you're gonna be able to master and dominate in the market using these strategies. It's a wrap. This is my wealth real estate action plan. I've taken 8 courses, 9 now, excuse me. I've taken 9 courses thus far, and this particular class provided 8 hours of content. And so now that I know better, how am I gonna do better? Now that I've sucked in all of this information, how am I applying it to my business? Well, one of the first things I'm gonna do is create a list of all the different counties that I want to work in and see which one of those counties are online. So this is gonna help me understand, do I need to travel to an office to look at documents, or can I look at documents from the privacy of my own home or office? And that way I can be clear on which of these counties I may have a particular advantage in. The second thing I wanna do is actually updating my operating procedures. Again, Chris is so crystal clear as far as how he lays out this information. And so I wanna go back into my operating procedures for my business and making sure that I'm covering each step that he lays out as far as processing leads. And so as I begin to grow my team, everyone has the same understanding and operating of how we are working the leads that we have available. And so I just want to thank you for joining me for this video. And I also want to encourage you to like, share, comment, subscribe, whatever you need to do to stay plugged in with us. And I can't wait to see you on the next video. Take care.